Hi guys, I'm Allie Mae. I am trying to start a series of YouTube videos that I post on my blog to talk about my writing process, my life, just anything. I want to see if it's something that I want to do. I want to hear you guys' feedback to see how you like the face-to-face talk rather than just reading what I write on my blog. I'm a writer because I like being able to spit out my ideas on a page and then edit them and make them sound clean and nice and somewhat intelligent. When I speak, I don't do that as much. I don't, I ramble a lot. So I want to see what you guys have to say about this. This may be something I start doing quite often. This may be a one-time thing. Who knows? We'll see. So anyway, I want to talk about my A Day in the Life of series that I'm starting on my blog. Last week I posted mine. You can find it. I'll post the link down at the bottom of the page. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. People seem to really like the idea of the series because everyone's different. Every writer has a different life scenario. You can see this is my dog Astrid. Say hi, Astrid. She often interrupts my writing and everything, usually because she needs toys to play with. I was supposed to go down the hallway and not into the picture. I'm not sitting in my usual spot today. I'm actually currently sitting on the floor at the coffee table. So you can see the couch behind me. This is my blanket, my Snoopy blanket. It's also Astrid's favorite blanket. So it's up on the couch right now because she likes to sit on it and then it gets covered in dog fur. Anyway, and sprawled out on the couch behind me is, hi. Sprawled out on the couch behind me is my manuscript. Yay! So anyway, so I wanted to talk today about, just like my writing process, because when I realized I did my post, I didn't actually talk about my writing process. I just talked about that one specific day. Oh, goodness. So I want to talk about my writing process a little bit. First off, the purpose behind the A Day in the Life of series on my blog is that every writer is different. Every writer has different situations in life. Some people have families. Some people have jobs that they have to work all their writing time around these extenuating circumstances. I just have a dog who likes to interrupt me, and I often have to carve out a lot of time for her, take her on walks and stuff. So I sometimes would take her to the dog park, but as we discovered yesterday, the dog park that opened up in June is currently under construction, I guess, because we drove all the way out there and there was no place for us to play. So, yeah, so that's, ow. So that's, just some things that I have to, I have to take breaks in my writing to fit in time for my dog. My husband is currently in school. He's a mechanical engineering major, so that takes up an awful lot of his time. Sometimes he's home, sometimes he's not. This new semester just started a couple of weeks ago, and his time is spent very differently now than it was last semester. Last semester he had a big project that he was working on, a robot that he was building because he's an engineer and they build lots of robots, and I could never do that. But he really enjoys it. It's what he loves to do. So this project though this robot that they were building took up a lot of his time, and he was at school till 2 in the morning, probably 4 days a week. Pulled a couple of all-nighters, slept in a box in the middle of a classroom for an hour one time. So I have to work my life around him too, bringing him dinners and just making sure that he's sleeping and drinking water and somehow surviving at school. This semester's a lot easier though. It's his last semester. Woohoo! He's supposed to graduate in April. Yay! So he's got that going on. He's actually got 2 online classes right now, which makes his life a lot easier, our lives a lot easier, because he can do those from home, and so he actually is here often. Today he's not. Yesterday he was home for quite a bit, and it was nice getting to see him, since I never get to see him. So yeah, my life is crazy. in case you didn't notice, this is often playing with my dog. This is often I'm trying to write, or right now edit, while my dog is climbing all over me and bringing me toys and things, and she's giving me a really cute look right now because she wants me to play with her. She's often sitting on my lap. We're very close to being on my lap, on my computer, across my manuscript, things like that. She makes it very difficult, but I'm also very lucky in the fact that I have a lot of free time, and I can dedicate that free time to writing. I don't have many other things going on that I have to dedicate my time to. So anyway, not everyone's as lucky as me. I have a lot of friends who have jobs, full-time jobs. They work 40 hours plus a week and have to figure out how to fit in their writing around, in little bits of free time that they find off of their other jobs, and the rest of their life. Kids take up so much time. Anyway, you'll see as the series gets posted later, the first post will go live February 1st at 9 a.m. Check it out. It's going to be awesome. It is awesome. I've got, I think, 4 or 5 already set to post, and I've got a couple more that I'm waiting to hear back from. So it's really exciting. I'm really enjoying getting to see how different my life is from everyone else's, and just seeing that even though our lives are all different, we are all writers. We're still writers, no matter how much time we spend writing or how little time we spend writing. Could you be any louder? Goodness. No matter what our life is, we're all writers because we're all finding time to write. So anyway, now I'm going to talk a little bit about my writing process. Yay! Because I didn't talk about that very much. So I get most of my ideas, my story ideas, in dreams. I'm a very vivid dreamer. So that's where I get pretty much all of my ideas. There's one story idea I have that I didn't actually get out of a dream, 1 out of a million dreams that I've had. And I often remember these dreams as I'm waking up in the morning or as I'm falling asleep later, as I'm starting to get tired. These dreams, these ideas will come back to me in little bits and spurts, and so I have to try and pick out which details and remember which details that I can find to figure out, what do I want to put in the story and what do I not want to put in the story. So anyway, once I get my idea, then I start writing it down. I've got a collection of notebooks. I brought out a whole box. This is the first notebook I wrote my first idea for my next project that I'm working on, which I started it when I was, let's see if it has a date. I believe I was 13 when I started it. I could have been 12, though. I don't see a date. That's a bummer. Should have put a date. So anyway, yeah, so I've got these notebooks. They're very much falling apart. They're in... horrible, horrible pieces. Lots of sticky notes, you'll notice that. So these 3 notebooks together make up the first draft, the very first draft of this book that I started writing when I was about 13 years old. I think I finished it. I think I was 15 when I finished it, or almost 15, something around that. I don't remember when I finished it. But I didn't actually end up finishing the story, but I just got bored of it and moved on to another idea. As you'll notice, all of the notebooks are in ruins. This one doesn't have binding on it anymore. This one's just, I don't even know what happened. It exploded or something. But anyway, so these notebooks are all of the ideas I had for this one story when I was 13, 14, 15 years old. And then I put it away for a really long time, and now I'm getting it back out, and I'm going to be rewriting it. That's my next project after I finish editing Powerful, which is my current project, which is in this notebook. I've got a million notebooks lying around, trust me. It drives my husband crazy. Sucks for you. So anyway, so here's Powerful. So what I did, when I got the idea, so this one also came from a dream too. So when I got the idea, for Powerful, I remember it was after it was when the first original hype around Frozen kind of started to die out because people started to realize that the movie wasn't as good as they thought it was the first couple of times they saw it. So I liked it the first time. I didn't like it as much the second time, and then at the time I was nannying, and I saw it about 1,000,000 times after that because the little girl that I nannied was obsessed with it. And as far as I know, she probably still is. But yeah, she was obsessed with it, so we watched it 1,000,000 times. And because I watched the movie so many times, I wondered what it would be like if Elsa had turned out to be a villain, and what Anna would have done, and how Anna's story would have been different if she had to, take down her sister at the end. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about 1,000,000 other things. Harry Potter, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the TV show. I believe we were watching Legend of Korra at the time, which is why I think that kind of got mixed in with it, in my mind. But anyway, so I had all these things stirring around in my mind as I went to sleep, and I had a dream about what would happen if this girl, Kylanor, if her brother turned out to be evil, and what would happen with that. So I had this dream, and I very distinctly remember, there's the dog again, in case you're wondering. She's got a different toy this time. This is her favorite. Yeah, she caught it. But anyway, so I had this dream, and I remember this scene very distinctly about her having to arrest her brother, and the emotions that went along with that. This brother, her best friend from, the only friend she's ever known her entire life, and having to finally give that up, and how that would play out in a story. And then I woke up, and I remember sitting down on the couch, and I just started writing. I started writing down all these ideas. I opened up a note on my computer. I use Mac, so I have Apple Notes. It syncs to my iPhone. Which, by the way, notice the Princess Leia and R2-D2 case? Yeah, my phone is entirely R2-D2. It's awesome. Between my phone and my computer, as I was going throughout my day, this was back when I used to work, when I nannied. So going throughout that, and I was, in between little bits and pieces of time that I had throughout the day, I started writing down just all these ideas of how I wanted this story to play out. And that blossomed into Powerful. So I wrote down kind of just like basic ideas. This was a bullet point thing. I think I still have the original note somewhere, but it's been long since changed. I mean, this was more than a year ago that I first got I got the idea back, I believe, in September of 2014, I think. So it was a while ago. So I actually sat down, and I pulled up this notebook, and I started writing the first chapter. So here's the first chapter, chapter 1, yay. You can see this is my writing process. I change a lot as I go. Not a single page in here doesn't have 1,000,000 crossouts on it. Yeah, the blue scribbles of death, I used to call them. Anyway, so I wrote the first chapter by hand. This is how I used to write everything by hand, and then I'd type it up on my computer. Then I got Scrivener and my life changed. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I wrote on the first chapter by hand, and then then the next day I went through and I pulled up, this was back when I used to use Word too, so I pulled it up on my computer and I started typing it out. Again, editing as I went, changing a lot of things, rewording sentences and things. So my first draft isn't really a first draft. It's like somewhere in between, like, still being first draft kind of quality, but being, like, slightly better than first draft kind of quality because I've written it so many times. But anyway, so I wrote down the first draft, typed it on my computer, and then I posted it on Scribify. And I got some really amazing feedback. I just posted the first chapter, and I said this is a really, really rough idea that I had that I wanted to see kind of what people thought of just the idea of the book. And I got a lot of really good feedback, and it was really encouraging. But as you know from reading my blog, as I when I wrote the first chapter, I was still working on Rose, which I don't think I actually have that notebook with me. So, I do. It's right here. Yay. This was my Rose notebook. It's very full of writing. So anyway, yeah, say hi. I'm sorry. Have you not sniffed this enough already? Anyway. So yeah, so I was still working on Rose at the time. And then I put Powerful aside because I was working on Rose. I wanted to finish that, but I just lost steam on Rose. It just, the storyline I didn't have enough to it. I hadn't done enough planning and outlining on it. So anyway, I put Rose to the side. Like, as I was kind of, like, working on Rose, I started outlining Powerful. And I took my few bullet point ideas that I had, and I just started writing paragraphs of scene ideas that I had. And just going through on my computer and just typing all these things. And at this point, I did have Scrivener, and so I wrote in my notes ideas that I had, and I had, like, I want to say 5 or 7 chapters planned out, and then I had just, like, a big, really long paragraph. It was, like, really long, of just everything else that I wanted to happen in the story. But then I switched it over to Scrivener, and I just started, it has the note card feature where you have little pins and note cards for every scene or chapter, however you guys want to do it. I do chapter by chapter. But so then I went through and I started filling out chapter by chapter what I wanted to happen in each chapter, because I knew where the story was going. I didn't know exactly how I wanted it to get there. And it's funny because now that I've written the whole thing and I go back and I look at my chapter by chapter notes, and even then it's totally different. Just lots of changes of different ideas that I had of, this scene, it's Powerful is very repetitive in the sense that it's in a Hogwarts classroom type, school type setting. So she goes to class a lot, and so it's kind of a very repetitive thing. And so, I was trying to change it up a little bit. So anyway, so I kept writing in my notebook. I got a couple pages of me just signing my name over and over again. Maps, my very rough drawings of maps. So that's Central City right there. That's the main scene of my book. It's where most of the story takes place. So anyway, during this process, I actually switched from writing out by hand to writing on the computer because Scrivener made my life infinitely easier because as I would take breaks in my writing, I would forget what I was doing, and so I'd go back into usually when I'd write in my notebook by hand, I'd have to go back and read the entire previous chapter to figure out where I was and what was going on, and because I couldn't remember. But on Scrivener, because of the note card feature, I have everything detailed, written out, what I wanted to happen in that chapter, and it made my life so much easier, and it made me write a lot faster. Plus I wasn't writing by hand, which is a lot slower. But, I get writer's block a lot, and so it took, if I hit writer's block and I just am getting nothing, then I will sit down with my notebook and write out scenes. Here I wrote chapter 7 again, chapter 7 again, chapter 7 again. But yeah, here's a drawing of sadness from Inside Out. So yeah, so I, as I was trying to figure it out, that chapter 7 was a rough chapter for me, in case you didn't notice, because I started it over like 6 times. But yeah, so then I will often switch to writing by hand because it frees up my mind. I draw a lot. There's pictures drawn all throughout my notebook, like the sadness one, just because it gets, it just kind of gets the creativity flowing. And just unblocks the words that are all stopped up in my mind. So I do that. I switch back and forth a lot between that. So yeah, that's kind of that. And then I eventually somehow finished it. Yay. And then I printed up my manuscript. And this is just book 1 of my manuscript. I don't know if I shared it on my blog, but I posted it on Facebook and Twitter. It actually was too thick for one thing, so it had to be bound in two. So here's the second half, and this is my bookmark. With my little Snoopy bookmark, my post-it notes. But yeah, so I actually just started this 2 days ago. I switched over to the second half. I'm almost done, yay! Then I have to put all the changes into my computer, and that'll be fun. But yeah, so as I'm writing, I'm constantly changing things. I say that my writing process, my outlining process, is basically just me telling myself the story over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until finally it hits a point to where it's clear enough to make sense to readers and it's good quality, you know, good writing quality. This is my editing process. I'm very much, you know, same thing where I usually, you know, I do a lot of writing by hand. I have to do my editing by hand. I can't do it on the computer. So I have pink, which is bad. Pink is sentences that I don't like. Lots of paragraphs, lots of big chunks of things that I don't like. Yellow, if I can find some. Here's some. Yellow is good stuff that I like. Yay! And then my blue pen is just notes that are all over the margins. Some you know, chapters and pages are worse than others. I had to buy new highlighters about halfway through because my pink highlighter died because I was using it so much because there's a lot of really rough sentences in it. And so just things, you know, rearranging conversations and things that I have. So I have this with all my notes in the margins, and then back to my notebook. I have sticky notes for each chapter. Then once I'm done, I'm going to take the sticky notes. These ones right here are my overall changes. A lot of it's like this one right here is things that I forgot to include in the last chapter, which is why I haven't posted my last chapter yet on Scribophile, because it's pretty bad. There's a lot of little changes that need to be made that I forgot to add in. This one is overall changes, things I either forgot to, like, story ideas that I forgot to tie up at the end, just things like that. Right now I'm changing 2 characters' names, so I have that written down on my overall changes sticky note. But yeah, so I do a lot of, then I go through and I write overall changes for each chapter, kind of. Sometimes there are notes on multiple chapters about, I'm not quite sure yet where I want this to fit in, like exams at the end of the school year. I forgot to include that. So, that needs to, that kind of needs to get thrown back in somewhere, and so I have to, there's like 4 chapters in a row where it's like exams, ? Because I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to go through and put that in. So yeah, I've got that. Here's my writing utensils. Here are my sticky notes. I'm currently using, my favorite ones are my Snoopy ones that my grandma got for me. Yay, love them. This one's my favorite. But yeah, I love Snoopy. Always have. My grandma gets me a lot of Snoopy stuff. I got a lot of cards and sticky notes, and I have a collection of Snoopy Christmas ornaments that my grandma gets me, and she adds on to that every year. So anyway, way off topic. So yeah, so that's kind of my writing process right now. And like I said, my writing process is basically just me telling myself the story over and over and over again in more detail each time until it hits a point to where the story is good. That's my outlining process. That's my editing process. It's all just me telling myself the story over and over and over again until it makes sense, until it's clean. So yeah, and as you've noticed from my video with my dog, I'm often distracted. I'm very easily distracted. I have to try and keep my focus with my best friend, Dr. Pepper. Yeah. I get a lot of headaches, so the caffeine helps my headaches, and it actually keeps me focused. It gives me the energy and the focus to keep working. That's the stuff. The dog is my main distraction. My husband will oftentimes randomly text me, and I have to, what am I doing? What's going on? I've got my headphones. These are new, wireless, yay. So that way I can be moving around and doing stuff. I'm very, you know, I gotta be doing something with my hands. I crochet. Here's my project that I'm working on right now. It's under the table. So I crochet because I gotta be doing some stuff with my hands. I'm currently wearing a Star Wars t-shirt. This is my husband's. I stole it from his drawer because I like it, and he doesn't wear his t-shirts very often. He wears button-ups to school because he thinks he's fancy. So I like to steal his t-shirts. I don't know, things about me. I love my dog. Her name is Astrid, named after Astrid Hofferson from How to Train Your Dragon, my favorite movie. And I have to wear socks. And slippers. I have slippers somewhere, although I lost them yesterday and now I have to find them again. Yeah, I lost them while I was cleaning yesterday. That makes sense, right? I like sunglasses. I have a collection of sunglasses. These ones are my current favorites. I also have purple ones, yay! And these ones are my other favorites. They're black on the front and gray plaid on the side. I have a collection of sunglasses, lots of them, because my eyes are super sensitive. I am getting reading glasses, well, more than reading, but not quite full-time glasses. They're supposed to come either on Saturday or like Monday. Supposed to come sometime this weekend. I'm supposed to get glasses finally. I was supposed to get them 4 months ago, and I kept forgetting and kept procrastinating, and then finally I went in and they're like, oh, we can see you in a half hour, and I was like, perfect. So now I'm getting glasses, yay, because I get a lot of headaches, especially with the work that I do staring at my computer screen all day long, and at words, and on my notebook, you know, just everything that I'm doing, just a lot of reading. My eyes are not that bad, but they're getting worse. Like if I had gone to get glasses 4 months ago, I doubt they would be as bad as they are right now, but whatever, it works. So while I'm writing, I go back and forth because I have to be doing so many things. I often go back to like social media, check on Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that. I watch a lot of TV. I'm trying right now to cut back on how much TV I watch. Netflix is the death of me, seriously, because it's so distracting and it's just right there. And I'm like, but there's like 7 seasons of Parks and Recreation, so I could just watch all 7 seasons right now because it just keeps automatically playing the next episode. I don't even have to click anything; it just keeps playing. So yeah, it's pretty bad. But I'm trying really hard to cut back on that and actually get focused. That's why I got the headphones, so that way I can listen. I listen to a lot more music now. To try and help my focus. Current favorites, I think I mentioned this in my A Day in the Life of blog post. My current favorites are Star Wars The Force Awakens soundtrack. It's awesome. And Inside Out's a good one. How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2 always. Lots of movie scores. I like Disney movies. So I do a lot of those Disney movies soundtracks. I also like of Monsters and Men is one of my favorite bands right now. They're really good. Their music is really good it keeps me focused. It's not the words and everything aren't distracting enough while I'm working that I can keep doing it. What are you doing? She's just rolling around the floor. Don't sigh at me. Come here. Come on. So yeah, a lot of different things. Philip Phillips, that C is one of my favorites. Thanks. Yeah, lots of things. I have to be careful, though. Like I said in my blog post, I have to be careful because Astrid likes to sing. Here, I'll play something for you. Let's turn on... Which one's gonna... Oh, this one's a good one. When life leaves you high and dry, I'll be at your door tonight if you need help. If you need help, I'll shut down the city lights. I'll lie, cheat, I'll beg and bribe. So yeah, that's my life. I have to be very careful about what music plays because she sings to almost everything I listen to. So yeah, that's my life. I'm a mess. But it's organized. It's an organized mess. Yeah, that's me. Thanks for watching the whole video. You made it through all 30 minutes of it. I can't believe I've been talking to my computer for 30 minutes. let me know in the comments on my blog, in the comments on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, what you thought of me talking, how distracted I was, how many times I said and yeah, and so yeah, and all those things that I say when I talk. So yeah, thanks for watching.